what do you make of the ministers, the portfolios? We now know their portfolios, isn't it? So, what do you make of that? Let's begin the conversation from there.
First, I think it's a very large cabinet in our history, especially at a time where Nigeria and a lot of Nigerians are dealing with high inflation rates. As a matter of fact, our inflation rose to 22.79% in June from 22.41, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. That the stakes are really high. Nigerian unemployment rates has also increased from 35%. Now we're talking about 40%. So when you're having an overbloated, so to say, cabinet at a time where we should be cutting costs, and we haven't seen that at the federal level, I think it calls for concern on my part, because I understand that Nigerians are really suffering. My family members are really suffering, especially the ones that are there and like I speak to every day. Inflation is not helpful. So when we have this number of people being appointed, in addition to 20 special advisors, I think it's a lot, because we're not dealing with cutting cost of government governance yet. Now back to the main core of their portfolio and their resume. I would give it, I probably my ratings would not be so good. But also I understand the point of, trying to appease, patronize those who saw through his, that worked during the elections. Paid more attention to these people rather than making it perhaps a 60-40 mix of both technocrats and the politicians. The politicians were more prominent in the list that has been announced so far. And I don't know what his approach would be within the next 2 years, if he's going to set a benchmark for them and say, okay, we've given you this position now that you worked for us to get to this point. You have to get to work, and we're giving you a very short period of time to deliver. Perhaps that would be an effective. But if we're going to look at what the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, did, some ministers sat down there for 8 years, right? So I think the stakes are really high, and Nigerians are not patient any longer. And I hope the president understands and acknowledges that, and also gets to show, that with the commitment he's going to be having, or the deal he's going to be having with his ministers, and perhaps reading riot acts to them and letting them know that while, I wouldn't say that he should keep them on the edge, he should give them the freedom to work and to deliver. And they should work with the speed of light. But I am not so enthusiastic. It wasn't an exciting list. It was more of a giving back to political friends and those who lost elections, and trying to appease to his political class and, pandering to them in a way. And I think that's what majority of the list is about. We have a bit of, 5 names I probably can call that I think really stand out. Look at Ali Pate, for instance, who is one of the biggest and one of the brightest in our country, and someone I probably can call, good news from Nigeria. We also have Bosun Tijani there, someone who is also a technocrat. We've seen what he did with CC Hub, and I'm happy about the ministry he was assigned. Largely so. I'm sure we all expected that. We have Yusuf Tuga, who is there, who was or is still the Nigerian ambassador to Germany. So he's a field that he's very familiar with, though he's also a politician, but he's also someone who has that balance of both politics and, being a technocrat within the diplomatic community. And I see a few other names there, like Wale Edun, who is going to be coordinating minister, and so forth. But at this point, I think we just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they surprise us. The problem with that is that politicians get into office and they start thinking of the next election cycle, and that influences all their actions and decisions moving forward.